the most important, critical, and also the last session of analytics, HR analytics, which is more on the predictive analytics, which uses advanced analytics tools and techniques. Okay, so before I begin this session, I must tell you that in all the 4 sessions, there were valuable inputs given. And in fact, in the last session where there was the storytelling and visualization, creating of dashboards, etc., all the participants have really done excellent in the way you participated. I really kudos to all of you for having taken part in such active manner. Okay. My question to all of you are there present. Say, for example, I want to predict if tomorrow, if it's going to rain tomorrow. Okay. What is it? I want to know, I want to predict if it is going to rain tomorrow. So how will you predict? Simple question. If it is going to, so will it rain tomorrow or not? How will you predict?
Depending on the last few days trend, or probably based on that.
Depending upon the cloudy day.
Absolutely. So that means you're going to look at some data. Huh? Your data will be saying that, hey, is it going to be cloudy? Okay. Clouds. You look at, I'm sorry. Clouds. Okay. Anybody else? Then what else? What are the various things you will look at? Or somebody
Season.
Huh?
Season. What is the season? That is
season. Is it a
rainy season or
correct? The clouds means I will say looking out for black, huh?
Right.
Black or dark clouds. Anything else?
Previous 5 years history of that particular
5 years
day.
history. Agar Prashant, if you want to just predict, hey, will it rain today? You're going to look at 5 years history.
Okay, depending on that season, maybe if this day has been like that.
What else? Won't you look at what is the weather report?
Yeah, weather report first of all.
Right? Weather report. So these are some of the inputs you will look at. If you're looking at this thing, hey, it's really black clouds, or is this rainy season? So whether it's going to rain, you're going to look at certain data, right? So, what is the output, or what is that you want to look at? Whether it's going to
rain or not.
It is going to rain, right? That is the hypothesis question. Now, you are very clear about the hypothesis or what you want or output. Can I call this as output or outcome?
Yes.
This is what you want to know, right? All of you agree with me? Now, if this is what you want to know, so you will collect data that is input, everything related to that outcome. Agreed? Agreed? You won't look at something, acha, gaadiyan, traffic bahut zyada, there's a lot of traffic on the road, or you will say, hey, all the other things. You will only look at data around what? Whether it's going to rain. Everything which is associated with rain. Agreed? So this data, can I call it as input? All that which is related, associated with the outcome. Simple, no? So that means what is it? Whenever you want to predict, you have to be very clear about the outcome. Because if you're not very clear about the outcome, then the kind of data you're going to look at will be what? Ambiguous. And if your data is not going to be right data, then can you expect right results? Yes or no?
No.
Right? Okay. So simply put, as I just wanted to, closely related to our everyday, what we look at. So when we say predictive, as the name goes, that means you want to predict. So when you want to predict, sometimes, a lot of us want to know, hey, what's going to happen to my career? What's going to happen after 5 years? I may choose to go and, sit in front of a crystal ball also, right? Huh? Or I may choose to go in front of a soothsayer who will say, so, or I may think of so gut feeling, or right. 1 second, just go. Yeah. Gut feeling. So here, when we talk about predictive analytics, we are looking at outcomes. And based on those outcomes, can I predict looking for the right data? So today we are all going to look at, hey, what kind of predictions can we make after having learned about the descriptive analytics, what we did in the session 1. And we will also look at some of the key areas where predictive analytics can be utilized. Okay. Now, before I get into this, typically when I look at the continuum, the value chain of our HR analytics or any analytics, it starts with something which is the first step 1 or level 1, which is called descriptive analytics. And if you recall, we've done it in session 1. We also looked at session 4 when we were doing dashboarding. So what do you understand? All of your HR professionals, you're such seasoned people. So what do you understand by descriptive analytics? Anybody? What do you understand by descriptive analytics?
Basically, we audit the day already what happened. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So say, for example, I'm looking at what absenteeism, number of people absent. No, it's a past data. Or I'm looking at attrition, number of people who have attrited, percentage. Okay. Or for example, I'm saying, hey, I want to look at the performance of a particular business unit. So I will look at all the performance scores and say, on an average, this is the performance. So what I'm describing all that which is happening. It could be process centric, transactional, right? And we are only looking at past data with absolute numbers. Very clear? Okay. But it's all about what we call it as hindsight or what happened. But when we shift from descriptive analytics, I'm adding one more here, strategic analytics. In session 2, we did something called strategy map. Say, for example, Aman is working as a compensation and benefit head. I will capture all the 100 or 150 metrics of compensation, okay? And keep tracking them, monitoring them, and just doing descriptive. But if it's not going to add value to business outcomes, is it going to make a difference if you're going to really track? Yes or no, guys? Huh? So the next level is what happens after I actually look at process centric and outcome based for that process metric. I need to look at even strategic analytics. So when I say strategic analytics, can any of you just give me a very small example? It could be recruitment, it could be L&D, it could be performance management. Any example of an analytic?
Salary
already done.
benchmarking.
This is why
salary,
Salary benchmarking.
salary benchmark.
Salary benchmark.
1 second. Okay, salary benchmark. So what is it you'll do? When I say salary benchmark, that means actually I'm trying to compare and say, hey, what is the kind of market percentile, right? Or for every position I am actually paying vis-a-vis the market. Okay. And then if I'm
Yes.
saying strategic analytics,
So
that
then
means
we
Then we
take
have to map.
action. We map the salary. We change it or we
and
decrease
I
or
get
we.
to know and say the companies are paying different. So in order to retain people, maybe I need to increase my salary, right? Like for example, so why should we actually bother about strategic analytics?
That is the final
Okay,
thing which
I
makes
Yeah.
want an
business.
example. I want an example. I'm just because this is important before we proceed into little base. So when I'm talking about, say, for example, I'll just clear. Yeah. So when I'm talking about, say, recruitment, okay. So at a process level, which is typically at the, I could call it as descriptive analytics. What will I talk about? Sorry, I didn't write here. Recruitment. Okay. I'm actually using these examples because so that you'll be able to, even later on, you'll be able to recall. So when I say process level, so can I talk about speed or what it is actually typically, I will say, you could also use it as timelines, right?
Yeah.
The
Turnaround
turnaround
time.
time.
Turnaround
Turnaround
time.
time.
Turnaround time, huh? Okay. Then what else?
Early attrition.
Sourcing channel.
So just the process. So we are typically looking at here, maybe satisfaction, just of actually even, the entire process for the candidate, right? You can look at that, no?
Candidate experience.
Offer to hire ratio. Offer to hire
And you
ratio.
can also look at all the funnel. When I say funnel, recruitment funnel, every step, right from sourcing to
Sourcing.
screening to
Joining.
selection, everything, all those funnel metrics. Okay, all of you will agree. Okay, but when I talk about strategic level with reference to recruitment, what will you look at?
So success rate, offer to hire ratio.
Yeah, so that is only a number, but when it's strategic level, impact. So what does it mean?
Cost of hiring, probably.
Will you look at performance?
Okay.
After 6
Quality of
months, this
hire.
guy has been recruited. Has he been able to perform? Okay. Then next, somebody was mentioning something. Long term means retention, right? Huh? Has he been able to be retained, performing, retention? Because if there's a quick churn, that is what is important, no, at a strategic level. What else? Huh? Making sense, guys?
Yeah.
Somebody, Prashant, you wanted to say something and I just kind of maybe I didn't let you speak. Yeah,
I just mentioned quality of hires.
yeah. See, quality of hire, yes. Okay, you could because quality of hire will impact performance.
Yes.
Huh? So I just put as an outcome. Okay, performance, long-term retention, culture fit, right? Huh?
Right.
Culture fit, etc. So therefore, in analytics, when I'm looking at what the say for example, just a recruitment function, what is happening? The complexity increases from no, sorry, I want to draw this line. The complexity increases. Sorry. So the base is the metrics, but there is an increase of complexity as you move from descriptive to strategic to predictive. Are you with me? Increase of complexity. You will agree with me? That means when I start with descriptive analytics, I use the HR metrics of recruitment. Okay. But as I keep proceeding and coming up to predictive analytics, then the complexity increases and also the value increases. Now I'll show you how, in the same example, how do we use predictive analytics for recruitment? For example, I'm able to actually do correlation, okay, as to which of the skill sets actually give me the right fit in terms of performance, okay, and in terms of long-term retention. Then I'm actually able to predict that if I hire this ABC skill sets with ABC behaviors, then I'm able to get what the impact is, that better hire, quality hire, who are able to perform better and who are also able to stay in the organization for a longer time. And thereafter, I will get into prescriptive. Say you only hire with these competencies and the skill sets, which will give us this. Are you with me, guys? Are you with me? Huh? For example, can you do the same thing even with the competencies? Yes. So let us actually look at a little more of the theory part. This is just to give you a good understanding as to, hey, what is this predictive analytics? Is it a big black box or we can actually use it? So I said that it is a continuum. There's a value chain. So as you keep moving higher and higher, the complexity increases, and with the same data and also with the basic metrics which we use with descriptive analytics, we use specialized tools and techniques and predict and prescribe for our HR functions. So having said that, what is the benefit then for an HR person? All of you are there. What is the benefit when we use predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics? What is the benefit for HR? What is
So
the benefit for HR?
as a HR, since we have
Yeah.
this data, and if we are able to come up with, some
Predictive
predictive
analytics
analysis or
or
prescriptive analytics,
prescriptive, yeah.
some decisions can be taken, say retention
Yeah.
bonus amount increase, decrease, or some other employee welfare measure can be started, wherein the
Absolutely.
retention can be increased, and at the same time, if the cost wise, in case if we are coming up with something related to cost, where we can save some cost, say in using some other recruitment channel. So
Right.
many things we can add to this balance sheet, I would say.
So can I say, in fact, you can differentiate from the other organization by getting that edge, cutting edge. As you said, reducing costs for compensation, getting better skill sets, because when we do this, we know exactly what competencies will impact performance. Got it? So what I will do, either I will do training in those competencies to increase my sales performance. Okay. B, I will also, through predictive and prescriptive, no, I will also be able to actually zero down to what are those skill sets for which I really need to hire for. Where will I get them? Okay. So in fact, you can see that session 2 we did as strategy, that in order for the organization to achieve its strategic business objective, it's very important to use in today's time predictive and prescriptive analytics, right? So that you can actually then predict and take decisions for the future. But if you say, okay, I don't care about predictive, I'm all the time doing descriptive analytics. So will it give me that edge then? All of you, I'm sure you are capturing and doing, you are doing attrition rates, you are doing absenteeism, you are doing head count and a lot of things. But will it give you that edge? No, because you are looking at isolation. You are only looking at that metric. You are only looking at that ratio. You are not connecting with the business object. Okay. Any questions here, guys? Because I want you to really understand. You'll have a lot of literature you can read, and I hope some of you have read those two what is it, PDF files I've sent. So, any clarifications, any doubts here? Can we move on? Huh? Okay. So when we talk about this predictive analytics, which uses advanced analytics, it will answer questions like, hey, when is the customer likely to exhaust a certain, their supply of a particular item? Then I can, start doing just-in-time inventory. What time of the day or week are they most receptive to marketing advertisements? Then I will reduce my cost, but I'll get the optimum, benefit, right? Or what level of profitability is achievable when marketing at that time? So these are some of the things you can actually do or predict, and helps the organizations to reduce cost and become more effective and efficient. Okay. So I gave you an example of that. Will it rain? So it's very, very important. What, when I'm doing a predictive analytics, I have to understand, be very clear in my mind that what's that I want to predict. Very, very clear. Do I want to predict what kind of competencies will give me best performance? Do I want to predict what kind of skill sets will give me, assure me quality higher? Do I want to predict what kind of market percentile should I pay my employees to ensure that I will get a best performance? Outcome is very important. Only when you want to very clear about what you want to predict. Why is it important? I want to know. Why is it important? I mentioned about it. Anybody? Nikita? Why is it important to have clarity on output or what I want to predict? How does it help you?
I mean, it's probably eventually we're going to use that data for better decisions, right?
It's not data. If you have clarity on what to predict, then you will definitely then look for data relating
Use
to
the
that.
right kind of data, right?
Because if I'm not going to use the right kind of data, then how will I get the right results? How will I be able to predict? So I'm emphasizing this more and more because data, the right kind of data is important. And for you to have the right kind of data, I should know what to predict. It's just like if I know where to go, then I will take that right bus to go. But I don't know where to go, then any bus will lead anywhere. I can sit in any bus and just go off anywhere. No? do we do that most of the time? Yeah. Before leaving the house, we know where to go. So we'll take the right bus. It's like that. Okay. So as I mentioned, that predictive analytics uses a lot of historical data. That means past data. Just like descriptor. So we look at a lot of historical data, which is the right data. And then we'll start looking at what? Trends. And we'll also use certain statistical tools, which is called correlation. You will be listening to these two words often, and I'll tell you so important and how to go about with them. Huh? You will be using correlation, regressions to predict the future scenarios or to predict decisions. What kind of decisions can I take? Clear? Okay. So this is what I talked about, the rain one. Okay. Now, so we don't go by intuition. Predictive analytics is not just by, oh, I have this gut feeling, that this guy is very good. Oh, I have this gut feeling that, these skill sets are supposed to be doing very well because I have a bias. So there is no intuition here, no gut feeling. It is based out of hard data, the right kind of data. Data is very, very important. Okay. So what are some of the tools which we use for predictive analytics in today's times? Off the shelf, there are many. You use AI, you use machine learning. I'll just go to this first. You can use what? R, lot of them. But very popular ones are R. In fact, I was telling Vilma that we'll start doing the R in the next session. And also then, the other things like you have SPSS, SSS. Then you have these, what is it? Fixin modeler. Then there is another one, starter, status quo. So all these are tools which you use to extract data, churn, analyze, and give you what? The quantified results. So these are only tools and techniques. But let me tell you, after that, ultimately it is you who has to make that insightful decision. So you still are very, very critical, because the tool can do or give you an outcome to up to that. But after that, you have to make an insightful decision as to what it is good for organization. How will you go about? We will do that. So today, very, very clearly, most of you will be doing a lot of things at your table. So we're going to teach you 2 techniques which you can actually do it yourself. You don't have to depend on data scientists. You don't have to depend on big, what is that called? IT teams. Okay. I'm sure a lot of data comes to your table, right? If you are an HR person, and you can do these predictions yourself and very simple. Okay, guys. So what are we going to do? A lot of correlation and regression. Okay. Now, quickly to tell you, where all applications. It is used in all the industries, in all business functions. Predictive analytics today is used. All right. And there's a lot of literature. I'm not wanting to get into this because we have we are really hard with time. Now, first I want to introduce correlation first and then go back. Okay. Now, when we talk about correlation, just these 2 techniques first I'll explain to you. Anybody recalls what is correlation?
Relation between 2 variables, independent and dependent.
Okay. Anybody else?
And the result between 0.5 to 1 is the better one to
Okay.
take decision.
Okay. So I'll quickly use and then show you also the thing. Because when you work on data, you have to be very clear with this. So why are we learning about correlation and regression? Because these are the 2 tools, statistical tools, which we are going to use in today's predictive analytics. Okay. So when I talk about correlation, okay, guys, it is a statistical technique or a tool. Very clear? It is a statistical technique or a tool. So correlation, as the word suggests, it has 2 data sets.
2 variables, 2 data.
Okay. And when I say 2 data sets, do not get confused. What is this data set? 2 variables. For example, in your all HRS, just you can be having a data set which is like what? Simple as, what is it? I can say performance score. Okay. 1 data set. And you could also be having another data set or another variable, which I call for employees, what? Competency score. Okay. So here these 2 data sets are what? Competency score and
Performance.
performance score. Any other? Can you just tell me, when you're talking about data sets, what are the other data sets you can think of in HR?
Interview rating and post probation rating.
Absolutely. You want to see interview rating, or since you mentioned interview, I can say, okay, interviewers rating, okay, and after 6 months, performance rating of those candidates, right? So very clear, 2 data. In correlation, Aman said independent and dependent variable. No. In correlation, we are talking about what? 2 variables.
2 variables.
which we are not saying independent and dependent. They are two independent variables. Got it? There is no dependency. They are just two
Regression.
variables. But what are we trying to see? Whether there is any kind of a relationship. What is it? Relation. Or I can also call association. Okay? So it's also called an associative technique. What is it called? It's also called a associative
Technique.
Okay, associative technique. What are we trying to see? Establishing a relationship. Say, for example, if one variable is going up, will the other variable also go up? Okay, or if one variable is going down, will the other variable go up? I'll just show you examples before it. And how is it measured? It's called
Correct.
correlation
Coefficient.
coefficient. Okay, the measure of the measure of a correlation is correlation coefficient. It is typically given like an rho r. Okay, huh? And correlation coefficient measured is measured from +1. Somebody said no, no? +1 to
-1.
what?
-1.
Yeah.
-1.
-1. Oh,
+1
minus.
is ideal, and anything
Okay.
0.5 to +1 is also very good.
Yeah,
relationship. Otherwise,
absolutely.
we do
So
not
if
have
it
it.
is 0,
Probably we
I'll show
don't
you the
have
diagram.
No
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 correlation.
correlation.
No correlation. Okay. So +1 is also high correlation. -1 is also high correlation, positive correlation, and negative correlation. Anything in between. But 0 is no correlation. Got it? Okay. So you're very clear. Correlation. Okay. Now, having spoken about correlation, I also want to, before I go back to the presentation, the other technique we are going to talk about is regression. Some of you have heard of it. What is the difference in this? Here also we are talking about two variables, two data sets. Two data sets.
हम यहाँ पे independent or dependent.
Yeah.
Here, I am saying, I'll put IV, or what I call it as. Aman has already mentioned, given you a clue. What is it? Huh?
Independent variable.
Sorry. Variable and
Dependent variable.
DV. What is it called now?
Dependent variable.
As the word suggests, that means the relationship of going up or coming down depends on another variable. So the dependent variables, whether it's moving up or low, it is dependent on independent. So that's why it's called what is it called?
Predictive.
Correct? Predictive technique, because this variable which is called dv is dependent on the independent variable. Okay, how much of fertilizer will I put, so that the growth of the plant is dependent on the amount of fertilizer or the amount of water I give, right? Huh? Okay, so obviously it has to have a measure. The measure is named as coefficient
Determination.
Coefficient determination, and it is represented by R
R
square.
or 2.
Okay. Coefficient dip. Now it also must have a quantitative figure, no? The measure. If any of you, the C compensation guys, if you remember. Prashant or Aman, huh? What? So the coefficient determinations measured is measured by 1. 0 to 1. Higher the, closer to 1,
Is good. Positive.
higher dependency, higher predictability, or moving away from 1, that means there are other variables. Got it? Very clear, guys? I've just set you with the fundamentals so that you understand. Okay? Let's just quickly now go back to this. Yeah. So if you notice, correlation coefficient, +1 to -1. Blue suggests the positive correlation and red suggests the negative. And typically in my last session or before that, I don't know. So I gave you saying that, anything between, plus minus 0 up to 0.5 is not a very significant, but anything over and above 0.5 plus or minus is a significant correlation. Okay, clear? Now, I also told you what is the difference between regression and correlation. Regression, you have two variables which is independent and dependent. Okay, and it's called a predictive technique because there's a dependency. But in correlation, there is no dependency. You are only looking at the relationship. What kind of a relationship exists? Okay, and it's called an associative technique. Clear, guys? Okay. Now coming back to, I want to also show this so that you have a very clear. Can you see when we draw a scatter graph, which we did in the first session, the job points are very closer and there is a very high, this graph represents a very high positive correlation. Yes or no? This one where my cursor is there. Will you agree? You can just give me a thumbs up. And what is this then? Don't look at that, whatever it's written. What kind of relationship exists here? Anybody?
Negative, high negative.
Because you will notice that, as one variable is going up, the other variable is coming down. Can you give me a quick example, guys? Number of hours spent in coaching, more.
Yes.
What happens?
The performance improves. Productivity improves.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
So
if I'm
wastage.
taking two variables like, coaching and minimizing errors.
Errors. Yeah. Wastage will
Will
reduce.
reduce, right? So there will also be this kind of a correlation. All right. So this is a perfect correlation. All job points are there on the best fit line on the scatter graph. That's why it's +1. Now, if you see this, there is an association, but no, I mean, it is a strong association, of course. And this is a negative association, but strong negative. What would you say here? There is no association at all, because you can see clearly in this graph that all your job points are not in one direction, any direction. They're all set. So there is no relationship in this. So there is no correlation at all, right? Zero correlation, this one, because you can see all the points out here. Perfect positive correlation, perfect negative correlation. Okay, so correlation is, yeah, now we just go back to give you a little bit of a understanding on. Now let us look at one metric which is called of L&D. Okay. Coaching, competencies. We'll look at competencies. Okay. Competencies. Okay. Now, say for example, give you an example. We'll look at an example. All of you familiar with salespeople? What do they do?
Sales.
What do salespeople do? A salesperson.
You sell the product or service of the company to the
He
end
will
user.
make calls and right. Okay. So his performance depends on what? Number of calls
Calls.
which have been what? Converted. No? I may make 100 calls, but only if 10% of my calls are getting converted, what does it show? What uh, kind of a performance does it reflect? What kind of a performance does it reflect?
Less.
Pardon?
Well,
Only
lesser
10%.
performing.
Only 10%, huh?
Yes.
Then it is a poor performance, right? Huh? It's a poor performance. So typically, tell me, I want everybody to actually, so if I want to improve the performance of the salesperson, what some of the competencies which will you think will be required to
Communication.
give him training into? Okay.
Communication.
Communication, negotiation skills.
One second. Communication. Can I put that as another one?
Negotiations.
Okay. All right. Then
Product knowledge.
Product knowledge, yeah.
Understanding consumer behavior.
okay.
Knowing the customer, like the kind of customers we are dealing, so their behavior, consumer behavior.
Consumer behavior. Okay. All right.
So need.
Then anything else? Huh?
The nature
Anything
of
else,
business of
Hmm?
the understanding the need of the customer. Probably it will come to the
Understanding
behavior
consumer
only.
behavior or
It will
check
fall there
need
only.
Or
analysis. Huh?
probably better audience segmentation understanding.
Okay. Can I say need analysis will take care of all market segmentation, everything,
Right.
customer
Yes.
segmentation and all that? All right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So all of you are all sales heads, and you think that hey, in order to improve improve the performance, which essentially means what? Increasing the conversions, right? Of
Productivity.
the calls, increasing the conversion rate. Can I call it as conversion rate?
Yes.
Improve performance means increasing
Conversion rate.
conversion rate, right? Okay, all of you think that. But, oh, sorry, but how do I know actually whether that these are all those competencies which really go into increasing the performance of the salesperson? So what will I do? I definitely have to do what? Then do analytics. So what will you do if you are all the guys, HR analytics team? So what will you do? I want to predict which are those 2 or 3 critical competencies which will ensure, I want to predict, ensure increasing of conversion rate. This is my output. So what will you do?
So we'll try to find out the scale or rate of the skills they have, and then measuring it with the productivity, probably how it is impacting.
Okay.
Like,
Anybody else?
like when we
Anybody
do
else?
a training need analysis and all, then we do a rating of, like, in that
Excellent.
case, under communication,
Very
what rate he has got, what score he has got, and then we find out the overall score, and then we come to
Okay.
look at the areas wherein the training needs to be, put in place. Probably that could be one of the way.
Okay. Anyone else?
I will identify the high pot, the person who is performing the best. and I will try to identify the scale of the competence, these competencies in that person. And based on that, I will try to find the correlation between the performance and these competencies in the other people.
Very close. Who's this? Who's this? Okay,
Prashant.
Prashant, very close, very close. So what will I do if I don't want to do any intuition, no gut feeling? I want to go by data. Then what do? I will say, hey, let me actually take a sample and where are they at communication level? The same sample at negotiation level. I can have some validated standardized test. Okay, product knowledge also I can put a test, understanding consumer. So all these competencies I can actually rate them. Got it? And then what Prashant, I think Prashant or someone said, Prashant Chaudhary, what did he say? Then look at their performance scores and see which competency correlates with the performance. And then what will I know? Higher the correlation, that means that competency is very critical for the performance. Got it? So therefore, now, if you take out your Excel sheet, I'm just closing this, I want you all to do, and I don't want you all to sleep also. Can you go to this sheet, guys? Okay. Now, Vilma will make groups. Okay. But anyway, now you can also do it in, I'll leave it to her. Now, if you notice from 2, an organization has all these skills, what competitor, trend knowledge, visioning, driver, accepting others' views, all these till here. Okay. These are all what? The various attributes and competencies required. Okay. To perform. I also have the performance scores of how many people? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. So A to O are what? A set of people, employees who work for an organization X. Very clear till there? I have given you the performance scores of all these people A to O. And I've also given you the scoring, assessing of every competency, okay, of all these people. Now, I want you to predict which is that competency which will have a higher correlation with performance. Am I clear with this, what I'm asking you? So, shall I tell you now what to do, or will you know what to do? Or shall I teach you just one and then you will do? Tell me which option you want. You want to swim, or you want me to help you to swim? Quick.
हम एक एग्जांपल बता दीजिए.
एक एग्जाम्पल देखो अमन तो बोल रहा है कि एक एग्जाम्पल. So what you need to do is you have to do a correlation. You're so lucky you don't have to do mathematically correlation. All that you need to do is what have I done? Gone to formula, insert function, Corel. Okay. ठीक है? Now area 1. What will I do? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. Aman,
Yes, ma'am.
you can see.
Yeah.
Now, This last row is your
Performance.
okay. Now what will I do?
Okay.
So what is the correlation? I should have clicked there, it would have come here. No, I should have clicked there. Where? Here. Huh? Now what is the correlation for this one, which is called
Very low.
competitor and trend knowledge? Huh?
Very low.
Yeah. No, we don't know. No, do you have all the rest? But
No.
you have to still look at, no? So now, will you be able to do quickly, guys, and tell me which
Yeah.
is that which actually has a higher correlation? See, you all can do it on your own also, and sitting in that group, it helps. So that means you have to individually find out all the correlations of this and quickly then tell me which is the highest correlation, and it then find out which is that competency.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it helpful, this exercise, and did you get some learning out of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
But ma'am, there was one query because I worked on a similar scenario in my previous organization.
Tell me.
We
Who is
create,
this? Can you just tell me your name?
and ma'am, it's Prashant Chaudhary.
Acha, Prashant. Okay, tell me. Yeah.
So ma'am, based on the management's requirement at that point of time, we created our own model sort of thing.
What model?
Based on some data, we were asked to identify the efficiency of the employees, and management asked us to correlate it with the attendance and performance ratings and things like that at that point of time.
Okay.
So we did that. We created our own formula and calculated certain percentages and stuff. And based on that, management took some decisions. But again, sometimes it's tough to justify that kind of formula. And again, sometimes management may ask something else to put some different parameters. So here also, as we can see, there are 4 key competencies that are coming out. So how can we even refine them furthermore?
No, like for example, just going back on your example. So if you want to look at efficiency is ultimately what? Performance only, na?
So ma'am, they have correlated it with the timings, office timings. Also, they've asked us to.
No. I'm looking at outcome. Outcome is efficiency means performance only, right?
Right, ma'am.
So you can't do anything analytics without quantifying whatever you are doing. Sometimes you
Right.
have qualitative data, but you have to have translate that into ordinal data. That means quantified data, right?
Right, ma'am.
So efficiency means performance.
Right, ma'am.
So you can take performance course, no?
Right.
Of the sample. Now you are saying that's the outcome. Now, is there any relationship between the other factors? Like, for example, I could say number of days he's been absent, no?
Right, ma'am.
So number of days. Or what else? One data set is absenteeism. Means number of days he was on leave. What is the other data set?
Ma'am, we mainly took 2 data sets as per the instructions of management. We took the attendance data, as you pointed out. Second was the performance data. These were the 2 data sets.
Where 2 different sets? There's only one variable you took. No, that is there any correlation between absenteeism and performance? To be very honest, I've actually done for a lot of organizations because they were always worried, but there's no correlation between absenteeism and performance.
Yes,
Person can come
absolutely.
almost 100%, but
Absolutely.
but maybe performance is not up to the mark. Honestly,
Mm,
this is like
absolutely.
saying, TV time and marks. Is there any correlation? Huh?
Right, ma'am. But sometimes
I'll watch a lot
when
of
management
TV.
throws such scenarios at you,
Mm.
so that was the issue at that point of time also.
It's a different thing that you want to actually create a culture of, culture of coming regular attendance, good attendance. You can do differently, but trying to correlate, and you will definitely see that there's no correlation. You can show them that there's no correlation, but that's a different matter that you want, because there are some performers, very good performers, they may not come regularly, but then yet they will be very, very good in their performance. No?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but yes, if you want to improve regularity, if you want to ensure that people are not absent, then there are other ways of ensuring that and to bring in regularity. There are other ways.
Right, ma'am.
Hmm?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right. But this is not, you can't correlate and say that, hey, and I'm sure you also must have seen that the correlation must have been very low, right? To
Yeah,
know,
back.
okay, I want to know which was the highest, which competency had the highest correlation, and what was that correlation measure?
Well, good ability to coach people effectively, 0.68.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Have all the other groups, like the two other groups, did you get the same thing, guys? Yeah, everybody?
Yes.
I can't. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to get into another one. I hope everybody's there. We'll take a break only after this session, after this exercise. Okay. All
Sure.
right. Some of you will be very familiar because some of you have actually gone through compensation and their metrics. Okay. We saw how you can use it for your L&D, that is for the competencies. If you want to do training, and if there are 10 or 15 things, 15 competencies, and then you want to ensure, you want to predict that in which competency or which competency should I really emphasize on, be specific on, to ensure that there is improvement in performance, then you can actually do a correlation with the data and see that, you can predict that these are the 2 or 3 competencies which are going to impact performance, or rather impact the conversion rate. Very clear? Okay. Now let us look at, compensation, how you can use predictive analytics in the area of compensation. And some of you are there who already done. Now, before we get into that, okay. So I just want to you to get familiar with just 2 or 3 metrics of compensation. I'm not going to get into all of them, which are only pertinent for the predictive and analytics right now. Compensation, there is this metric called compensation revenue. Typically, how is it measured? It is measured by the total cost of compensation divided by the total revenue. I'm sure all of you are familiar with total revenue. That means how much revenue does a company make? And total cost of compensation means it's a payroll. What is the wage cost per annum? Now, this is also called ECR ratio, employee
Cost to
huh,
revenue.
cost to revenue. And let me tell you guys, this is very, very critical metric for a CEO and a CHRO. Why? Because if he's going to have a ratio of 30%, while if he's benchmarking, while his peer companies are only doing 15 to 20%, what does it mean?
We are
It means
paying high.
that you are paying
Very high.
more. Impact on business is that you are reducing your profits
Yes.
because you are spending more in wage cost. So it's a very, very important metric. So you can do predictive analytics around this. Also, now to get your revenue, as I I didn't mention here, very easy to get revenue data. You can just go to what? Where will you get your revenue data? If Aman remembers, or Prashant, Priyadarshini remembers, from where will you get your revenue data?
The reports, if they are listed companies.
Annual reports here, you will get anywhere annual reports, right? And in the profit and loss, you will also get your total cost of compensation, wage cost. Okay. From there, then you can derive your ECR ratio. Now, compa ratio, another metric I want you all to, just for some of you know it, but most of you may not know. Compa ratio, that means it has 2 variables. So simply compa ratio means what? That means the individual's base salary with reference to midpoint of that salary range. Okay, then it becomes a comp ratio. It can also be individual's base salary vis-a-vis the market midpoint. Then market comp ratio. Where is he? How far is he from market? Why these comp ratios are very, very important? Because if your comp ratios are very low, you may be actually paying less salary. If your compa ratios are very high, you may be paying very high salaries. So therefore, every time you do increments, then you also strategize in terms of should you be actually then making market corrections and ensuring that the compa ratios come up to the mark. So this is also very, very important. So it's written there, your salary, base salary divided by the market midpoint, or also it can be the midpoint of that particular range you are in. Just give me a thumbs up, guys, because it's a technical term. I hope everybody has understood. Okay, Nikita? Huh? Yeah, good, great. Then the third metric I want you all to understand is this one. Market percentile. Anybody who can tell me when I say percentile, what does it mean for you? Percentile.
It's a
Is
related term.
percentile
Ma'am.
the same as percentage?
It's a peer group related
It's
percentage.
it's a relative term. Absolutely. When I say that
Percentage
Nikita's,
of
Nikita's company is based 55 percentile of the market. What does it mean? That
50,
means that
54 people.
55 companies or 55 percentage of those companies which you are comparing are paying lesser than what your company is paying. Okay. Or if I say 90 percentile, 90 companies, 90% of the companies are paying lesser. 80th percentile, 80% of the company is paying. But again, please remember that when I'm saying percentile, it refers to an individual position, not all the positions in the organization. If, say, for example, Aman is HR head, HR manager, or, a particular designation. So it actually denotes that this HR manager's salary, a particular salary, individual salary, not all the positions clubbed together. Okay, market percentile. That means that position's market salary is vis-a-vis 60th, 75th, vis-a-vis the market. Okay, these are things which I want you all to know. Now, why is it very, very important predictive analytics is used? Now, let me tell you a little bit. Some of you who don't know, and some I know who have done compensation, know it thoroughly. The biggest challenge, compensation is a big driver, guys, to attract, retain talent. Yes or no? Huh? In today's times,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
also one of the biggest drivers to attract, retain, and motivate talent. So organizations, in order to be equitable, fair, they have to continuously look at what is the market paying, continuously make corrections, continuously internally also ensure that there is parity, right? Effort versus reward. Now, in order to do that, the organizations use something called what? Job evaluation, where they are actually evaluating the worth of the jobs. Okay, in a quantified manner, which we can say points. Now, in order to predict, hey, what is that I have to pay within my organization, considering the fact that market is paying this salary, then I use a technique called regression. Got it? I use a technique called regression. Now, I'll take you to that data and then you will work on that. See that? Yeah. Say, for example, these are job grades. Can you see job grades 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
Okay, these are broad. So 1 being this, the lowest grade, and 10 being the highest grade. Now, through job evaluation, I have evaluated the job and assessed the worth of the job in terms of points, quantified numbers. So when I say points, it comes in the form of numbers. So 120 points is this HR assistant, while director HR is 975 points. So it's obvious that 120 points, which is much lesser, is a lower job and 975 is a higher job. Got it? Okay. Now, in order to predict what is the salary I need to pay, what will I do? I want to get market data. Simply put, market data means what is market paying? Market means peer companies are paying for an HR assistant, which is of a similar job of an HR assistant in the market. So it is written here 160,000. Okay. Or an HR officer, you can actually add 3 zeros here when you're doing the work. No, but you have an Excel sheet here. So in order to predict salaries, I will use a regression technique. How will I do now that regression? Now, in regression, which will be your independent variable IV?
Points.
Points. That will be your IV, and always it goes by X. Okay. And which will be your dependent variable? DV will be the market, which will be go by the Y. Okay. Now I want to know when I'm predicting salary, okay, I will do regression so that I can actually get a pay line salary. Now all the groups will work on the same. I'm just quickly going to that data Excel sheet so that I can show you that Excel sheet where you need to work. I know some of you will easily do it because you have done it, but maybe the other groups can. Yeah, simple data so that you just get it. These are the positions. These are the point values, as I said. Highest is 500 and lowest is 150. This is the market data for these positions. Now you have to do what? A regression. So how will you do regression? There are many ways of regression which I've actually taught you, I think, in last session or so. Now, so simply you can use a data analytics tool pack where you can do regression, or you can also go to insert function, and what will you do? Calculate slope
Intercept.
value and intercept value. Okay. Or 1 second. Or what will you do? You can highlight this.
Scatter graph.
Then what will I do? Where is this? You can do insert, right? Then
Scatter graph.
I will only till here. I won't tell you what. You can go to quick layout, lane 9, because if I do everything, then you won't even think about it. Okay, I'll stop here. Right? Guys, after this, you can take a break. So please tell me what salary will you predict? All right. All of you. Vilma, can you break them out? Send them to the rooms. Vilma. So 10 minutes is good enough? Or if
Okay.
you want to do it on your own here itself, you can do it.
We
Don't
can do in our own.
Huh?
We
I'm
can
putting
do on our own.
Okay. Okay. Do it on your own then. We won't send you to. Yeah. Everybody do it on your own and 10 minutes. Let me see what the other groups. Anybody, then you can send a message saying that oh, we can't do. Yeah. And then I will ask 1 or 2 people to show me how they have done. Okay. Just give me a thumbs up whenever you finish, guys.
Done.
Okay, how many of you have finished? Just give me a thumbs up. Snehalata. Done, Snehalata? Santosh. Prashant. Priyadarshini. Prashant Chaudhary. Can you just give me a thumbs up, guys? Then I'll ask Aman to show it to me. Okay, Aman, can you please, I'm going to stop sharing. Can you show me what you've done?
Yeah, ma'am.
Can you put it in the chat if we can? Yeah, okay. He says it's done. All right. Okay. Okay, just go through the process so that you know the others can actually follow what you've done.
So for doing this regression and coming to this payline salary, we need to go through that formula to
What
find
is payline salary, Aman?
and payline
Predicting the
salary.
salary.
Yeah,
Predicting the salary.
predicting the
Right.
salary which we should
Yeah.
be paying in terms of.
Exactly. Excellent.
So the formula goes, we need to find that. So the formula is y is equal to a plus bx,
Right.
wherein a is the intercept, b is the slope, and x is the point value attached to that.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
I found this, found the value of a, b, and then put it in that formula.
Okay. Can you just take us through how you have done it?
Yeah. So I'll do it here. So
Do
here
it here itself. All of you can see. Yeah.
yeah.
No.
So here I have
I
to
want you
find
to.
the
How did you
payline salary.
calculate? Just show us the
So I
entire
could-
calculation. Yeah.
I did it. Okay, I'll go through here only. So
You
how
can
I
just. You can insert. No. You can insert.
carry it only.
You can select the data, point value, market value. You are calculating that data, right? So you can.
Yes.
Yep. Quickly, yeah. Insert.
Yes,
Scattergraph.
yes, okay.
Chart, right? Excellent. Excellent. Then click on any blue
Yes.
dot,
Just
blue dot, job point. Any job point, you can click on any job point.
yes.
No.
I'm-
ठीक है. Excellent. Yes, good. You can also click on display equation set and intercept.
Yes.
Set intercept.
Just
No. Display equation, you'll have to click on display equation and R square.
just I'll get this here only, right? Display
Where
equation.
you have clicked
right?
set intercept, you can actually unclick or undo set intercept and
Yes.
display equation and display R square.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. So you want to look at your R square coefficient determination, which is 0.96 or 96%. Is it good?
It's very strong.
Absolutely, because it is so closer to 1. Good. And your intercept is 477.25 and your slope is
Minus.
126.37. Excellent. And then you have populated this data into your thing and calculated your salaries. That's how you have done, right? Aman?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. I hope all of you have got the same values. Yes, no? Anybody, couple of them, if you can say yes, no, or put it in the chat. Guys?
Yes, received.
Huh?
Yes,
Say?
ma'am.
Okay, yes, from every, okay, Prashant also says yes. Excellent, guys. So now you know how you can use regression to predict salaries when it comes to compensation. After having done the what point value, that is job evaluation, and after having done the got the market data from the market, you can actually use regression to set your first get your pay lines, and then you can set the ranges. Okay. All right. I think all of you needed a break, right? So it is 4:07. So 4:07. Yeah. How much time? 10 minutes. So what is it?
4:15 we can break.
Okay, 4:15. So can we all of us be back at 4:15?
Ma'am, before we go on break, I would like
Yeah,
to see
sure.
the formula that Aman has entered in column D, the pay line salary. Click on 14,055. I'll be able to see.
Let me see the formula. I don't know whether, see, I normally recommend, can Aman do this? Aman, so you
Yes,
did
ma'am.
equal to, right? What I normally say is equal to, then close the bracket. Now you put your slope value. What is the slope value? 126.37. No, don't put F4 because it's constant.
Okay.
I would recommend 126.37. Okay. Now then multiplied. So obviously you will put that sign, no? You are hardwiring the data and then you're put that. Now close the bracket. Then minus 477.25. Now you can draw, you can then go, you can then drag it from the corner and let's see if the values change or the same. Good. Aman, you're good. We are
Wonderful.
only
Thank you
looking at,
so much, Aman.
because Prashant gave some benefit of doubt. So I made you do it
हम
again. But
actually
Aman
वो
has become perfect.
इंटरसेप्ट में अगर माइनस कभी कभी आती है ना वैल्यू तो वो फॉर्मूले में चेंज हो जाए बिकॉज द फॉर्मूला सेज a plus bx
Yeah.
and that
वो
is
minus
already
में आप आ
minus
जाते
plus
हैं।
minus
Yeah.
minus so
Yep,
probably that could be
absolutely.
the doubt.
But I typically what I do, I hardwire this data, which is constant. So it becomes, there is no then question of getting sometimes, but that's why I made you do again. All right.
Thank you
Okay,
so much,
great.
ma'am. I mean, वो
हाँ.
minus वाला ही चक्कर था, मुझे वही मतलब।
So he wanted to actually look at his own data. Chalo. Okay. So now it is, let me see, 4:10. Yeah. So you can come at 4:20.
So I'll just stop sharing.
4:20. Yeah. So all of you can be here at 4:20. All right. Thank you, Aman. Thank you. Won't do any regression. Then they will only have to just go by the market and say, will I pay as per the market? Or will I give 10% more than the market? Or will I give 10% less than the market for that particular position? But here, when I'm looking at a set of jobs, okay?
Yes,
Yeah, of course, having ensured that the matches are very good. When I say match, the job description of the benchmark position has to match at least 85 to 90% with the data you are taking from the market. Because if that is not accurate, then your pay line salary also cannot be accurate. Having
Yeah.
said that, everything is being taken care of. Yet sometimes what happens, a position like this can arise where your market is paying 10,000, but you are trying to pay 14,000. Why? Because when you're doing a regression, it takes into consideration the data of the array of all the data you have seen, no? The entire array of data, market data, and the entire job points data. And then it gives you, because if you know there is a relativity to ensure fair system of salary, it ensures that the salary is what effort versus reward against all the positions. That's how you will find sometimes this kind of a situation will be there. Okay.
Okay. So basically,
Okay.
if the points are higher, like if it is say 115 for engineers, if it was say 80, then it will be less. So basically, the answer lies in the points value, and the
No, the answer
regression.
also lies in the entire market area of data. because you are
Yeah.
not comparing with just one position to one market data. You are looking at all the 10
All
positions
positions.
vis-a-vis the 10 positions of the market data. That's why
Okay.
it changes. Okay.
Yeah. So if I see the CEO, then 60,000 is the market and 62 is the pay line salary.
Yeah. But when you typically do such positions, a CEO or a CXO, you actually don't put them into the job evaluation stuff because you are only hiring
Yeah.
one CEO. So you would like to hire the best. So you would actually go in for, one-on-one. That means what the market is paying and would I like to pay higher than that or lesser than that.
So
So you'll
let's take
keep the
example of
CEO,
program
CX.
manager
Hmm.
or
You will put him
managers.
there. Yeah. You will
So
put him
manager
there.
is less, the pay line is less than the market, but for the engineers it is higher. So overall, this process helps us to identify pay line salaries relative to the jobs like engineers to
All the
CEO,
positions in the
all the positions.
organization.
Yeah,
Exactly.
got
So
it.
that's how fairness and equity is established.
Yeah, okay. So the
Okay.
slope and the intercept helps in to get this the pay line salary. If engineer is getting paid say 14,000, what should the manager get paid? So it should be 19,000. So that
Absolutely. But
yeah,
we are not getting into one of those things like, for example, in compensation, you also can look at this is linear regression. We can also look at, what is it? Multiple regression, etc. So where it becomes a little different. Okay. So
yeah,
depending on the context of the organization, a lot of other things. But to keep it simple, for a linear organization, this is the rationale
yeah.
behind it.
The
Okay.
so regression helps us to give us a fair pay distribution for all bands, all positions.
Yeah,
For
you
the
summed
fair
it up
pay.
very well. You summed it up very well. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you. Okay. So we looked at talent acquisition, usage of predictive analytics in talent acquisition. We looked at the usage of predictive analytics in compensation. Okay. And you got a little bit of an activity and how it. Now let us look at something called this is with a reference to competencies. Okay. Human capital readiness model. Have you heard of this human capital readiness model? Anybody? No? Yes? No? Huh?
No,
Okay.
no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. First of all, let me give you a little bit of a context. When see human capital readiness and index. So when I say it's again a measure, it's again a metric. Hey, what is your readiness? What is the human capital's readiness? Huh? In terms of what? Accomplishing your business objective or the strategy. Simple as that. So, in fact, it is a measure which is called human capital readiness measure. What is human capital readiness means? Do I have the requisite skills and competencies required to achieve the business goals? Simple, to keep it very, very simple. Okay. That means the know-how, the accountability, the problem solving, all these competencies, are they there? To what extent? And am I ready to achieve the business goals? Okay. So when we talk about human capital readiness, if this is the measure, what, say, for example, this is a diagrammatic picture of a consumer bank, actually. So when we talk about a human capital readiness index, typically we actually look at all the critical or strategic job families in the organization, because we go by the premise that that it is very important to have all the critical job families in order to achieve the business goals. For example, can you see that for this company, which is typically has a verticals like operation management, customer management, it's a bank, a consumer bank, innovation and so these are the strategic families. Now, when I say strategic job families, it need not be only top management positions, mind you. It can be any critical, say, for example, in a restaurant, what could be one or two strategic jobs in a restaurant?
Chef.
You have said it. Say, for example, I have a dosa factory. अभी airport में the first thing you all will eat is idli factory, dosa factory. Now, so if you, who would be in the dosa factory? Who would be the critical job in the dosa factory?
I'm the one who's
Come on,
making
yeah.
the dosa.
Huh?
The
Huh?
one who's making the dosa.
Aman, you got it right. So, you know, if you want to eat a dosa in the dosa factory, and if you don't have the dosa man, then you know that you are not getting the right. So the master chef who makes dosa is a very important person, guys. He may be drawing salary much more than any others because he's a critical. Likewise here. So strategic jobs. So here, if you see quality manager, call center representatives, financial planners, telemarketers, consumer marketers. So all these are strategic jobs. Got it? Now, for all the strategic jobs, what does the human capital readiness say? That there are certain key competencies or there's a competency profile for these jobs. Right? In order, I'm sure everybody knows about competencies and the bars and all that. So in order for the quality manager to perform and achieve his role, responsibilities, he needs also to have certain competencies. Okay. For example, let us take a call center. So call center's competency profile is this: customer interactions, problem management system, team building. Now, when we talk about readiness, what does it mean? Let me just take, because this is very easy. For a call center guy, we are saying for the competencies you need customer interaction center. I will just add one more. I will say, maybe I will say here that this customer interaction center competency also will need what? Level 3. It's a bar of what? It's a bar of 4, where it needs level 3. Certified standard. For what? Call center guy, he needs level. So I'll just write itself. Level L4. So he needs L4. Okay? All right. So L4 is the certified standard required. For problem management system, again under the bar of, maybe there are 3 bars which you have, he has to have manage a software and all that, and in that. So I will say L3. For team building, as per the competency profile, I will say again L3. So what does it mean? For a call center guy, he needs to have these competencies, which are customer centric, problem management, team building at L4, L3 and L3. Okay. That is certified standards in order to what? Reach or achieve his performance. Okay. Likewise, quality manager, these are the competencies, 6 Sigma, problem management, likewise, all this. Now, if you notice, for this organization, the numbers required, let us just take a call center. The numbers required are how much? Numbers required are
20.
20. But I will say we have, say for example, I will say we have only 15. Okay. Then what percentage of readiness I have?
75.
Who is this math?
Snehalata.
I'm very
Snehalata.
happy. I'm very happy. Yeah, very good. 75. So my readiness is 75%. Okay. So what does it mean? So it is, if it is 90, I can say, hey, almost green color. Now I can have colors like, say, for example, 100 here. And my readiness is only 40%. Right? That means I'm shortage by 60%. Are you with me? What does it mean? That means the number of people who are totally qualified and having those competencies are only what? 40%. Getting me? Huh?
Yes.
So, but for example, the number required is 20, but I have, say, 22. Can I also have a situation like that? Yes or no?
Yes.
I want
Yes.
everybody. Yes.
Yes.
So how does it
Yes.
help me? I can keep a buffer. No, I can have in a
Yeah.
talent pipeline so that I can take care. So that means this readiness can be also sometimes more than 100. No, huh? I can have more than, I can have 120% because I feel, oh my God, you know that there is such a shortage of talent and the demand is very high. I better have a high buffer. Okay. So now when you understand human capital readiness index, what does it mean? Anybody? Can you quickly tell me? I have to find out how many people this number required. Now tell me, how will you get to know the number required? What is the analysis will I do to know the number required for this call center only? Say the number required. How will I get to know the number required?
The number of calls, customer calls to be answered, probably
Right.
per
Can I
person,
say load factor?
load factor, per person
Can I
average.
say
call.
load factor? Like for example, in a in a in a hotel, depending on the type of hotel you can have, no, how many people you want to have to take care of the room, no, depending on the business hotel might be very lean, huh? A resort hotel can be a very different. So you know what is the load factor? Anybody? What is the load factor?
Number of transactions by number of people.
Yeah, I mean number of people required for a particular task. So
Task.
how do you actually then do manpower planning in terms using load factor? That is, you will actually forecast depending on the kind of work and the amount of work you're going to get. You're going to use the load factor and decide on how many people you will require. That is clear now? Huh? This number required, how will you arrive at number required? That is very clear. Okay. And readiness numbers you have on readiness will come from where? Internally, you will look at how many people are there ready. So sometimes you can have more people because you will do succession planning, shadowing, and so you will develop a pipeline. So you can have your readiness less, or you can have it more than 100%. Again, here, depending on the supply and demand, you will say, no, I better keep, a backup. Otherwise, I might have a huge problem. Is it very clear, guys? So ultimately, when you're talking about human capital readiness, it is what is the number required? What is the numbers I have with respect to the critical jobs? And then what is that I will do to ensure that my human capital readiness. Readiness is nothing but ensuring that you have the people to do and ensure that they are achieving the business goals. Any clarification, guys? Human capital readiness is a very, very important concept in today's times. Okay. Yeah. Now you can go to be in the rooms because you'll find it interesting. Now, I want to do 3 questions. Okay. One is, if you can just write down, I've already written down, I think. Okay. Now, this is a data sheet which shows you employees. You have a hiring data, you have job roles, you have monthly compensation, and then you have the training expense per person. Then you have a work-life balance, then total sick days, then you have employee engagement score, you have satisfaction score, and you have performance score. Work in groups. I want you to first of all find out whether there is any correlation between the performance score and total sick days. Just like Prashant or somebody asked me, ma'am, we asked, who's that person? Was it Prashant Chaudhary? Somebody asked. Okay, please find out. J and G. Will you write down? Huh? What is it? Can you just, any one of you can repeat performance score and
Sick days,
total
Sick
sick
days.
days.
total
I
sick
mean,
days.
by a person being absent, is there an impact on the performance? Okay. Second, is there a impact on performance with the work-life balance? Okay, because if there is, then I can increase the work-life balance. No? So what is the second one? Work-life balance and performance score. Okay. Then the third, is there a correlation between work-life balance and job satisfaction? Means because I have a nice flexi balance of life, so do I have higher job satisfaction? 3. Okay. Then the interesting part is also check if there is a better work-life balance, is my employee engagement high? Am I engaged better? I hope all of you have written all those things. Huh? Okay.
Could you
The
repeat
last
third question? Could you please
third.
repeat the
See,
third
I gave
part?
performance score and total sick days. 1.
Right,
Got it?
right.
Huh? Then again, I
Yes.
said performance score and work-life balance. Okay.
Right.
Then
right.
I said, is there a job? If there is good work-life balance, does my job satisfaction go up? Okay. And then the last and not the least. Okay. So if I have high compensation, does it increase my job satisfaction? Okay. So job satisfaction and compensation. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. So do it in groups because I don't want you to do it. So time 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Done. Best 15 minutes. Okay. The time starts now. It is 4:45. That means 5 o'clock.
5
Okay.
o'clock.
Yeah. Do it in group, guys, because then only you'll feel better. And
Yeah.
Vilma, right. Yeah. Shashank and group, would you like to share and show me what you've done? And then what is the insight you have drawn? Yes, guys. Yeah. So what is G and sick days and performance score? Yeah. So what is the insight you have drawn? Who is presenting this?
The
I
first
can't hear.
one,
Yeah. Huh.
first one is no relationship actually.
So somebody was mentioning, no, that in their organization also they were trying to do some correlation. Huh? So now I hope you know that there is no correlation between person's absence and also the performance, right?
Yeah, and work-life balance and performance
Excellent.
score.
I
is,
would
is-
recommend also to do the scatter graph. It helps. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Next, F and
F and
work-life
the
balance.
work-life balance performance score.
Excellent.
So
So is
strong
there?
positive, strong positive
Yeah.
correlation.
So what would you do if you are the HR head? What would you do?
So
If you
main
see that
emphasis
there
will
is a
be
correlation between work-life balance and performance score, what will you do?
more activities to increase the work-life balance.
Not fact, we don't know. So you will find out deeper and ensure that you increase the work-life balance so that you can have what? Better
Performance
performance.
score.
Okay, great. So F and I.
F and I.
Okay.
So
Work-life balance, job satisfaction. Yeah. To some extent. there is good, huh?
moderately
Hmm.
positive.
Excellent. Excellent. Absolutely. Then what is the next one? F and
F and H.
H. That
Work
means
and-
work-life balance and employee engagement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very insignificant.
Yeah.
0.33 is not much. And then D and
Monthly compensation and job satisfaction, virtually no relationship.
no relationship. Absolutely. Absolutely. Excellent, guys. Excellent. Good job done. Very good job. Try and see if you can actually do those graphs also till the other groups join us. Huh?
जो second वाला graph बना है performance and work life balance का, the score comes positive, मतलब it shows correlation.
हाँ.
But
चार्ट में ऐसे नहीं
graph में जब हम trend line add कर रहे हैं, still we can see some scattered points. मतलब
मैं देखना चाहती हूँ. Can you show me?
Nikita, can you show your screen?
Yeah, I actually removed that chart, but I'll do it again. Just a minute. I'll share my screen. So we're talking about performance score and work-life balance.
Yeah.
जहाँ पे correlation positive है वहाँ तो ठीक आ रहा है मैडम.
मेरा तो
Chart.
वो भी नहीं आया. So this is performance score and work-life balance. I select my data. I go.
नहीं, एक बात है.
हाँ.
Okay, now you can do that. हाँ, correlation करना.
Insert.
Chart लगा लो, chart. Yeah,
हाँ.
insert the chart.
यही वही कर रहे हैं हम लोग. So here is insert chart. All right, and I do a scatter graph.
Click on any of those your buttons, job buttons. Trend line. ठीक है.
That's right.
Yeah. And what is the value? If you want to see the value.
0.55 is the
0.55.
Acha, over here on chart you want to see the
Now,
values.
now, since there is a correlation, you want to see if you increase work-life balance, when will your performance go up? So you can also calculate then regression. So look at regression also.
Yeah, just a minute. So quickly.
So in that,
this
what
one,
will be
right?
your independent variable?
Work-life balance.
Exactly, Aman, you got it right. Because performance will be the outcome.
Yes.
Huh? So independent with jada work life, if I increase work life balance, maybe so dependent is performance. So please use that X and Y appropriately. Don't do it otherwise, vice versa. That's why I checked. And do regression. Acha, you already.
I had a
No.
query. So this is how my chart
What
looks.
was, I want you to
Do the regression, is it?
cancel this because I'm not very sure which one you have used for X and Y. Just
नहीं, अच्छा
no.
वैसे
So performance score should always be kept next to work. Keep
got
work-life
it, got
balance
it.
as first, X, and
Okay,
performance
okay,
score as Y.
okay, got it. So the
Cut paste and put it there. Yeah.
that also matters. Okay, place it.
And then what you do now is put this as X and Y, and then see if you can do the regression.
So I do. Okay, I'm a bit confused. I put in this value of 0.
Why are you putting values now? Acha, you want to put the value. No, don't
I'm
put the
just
values.
asking.
I want
Okay,
you to redo it once again. Just a minute. Has
the
everybody
chart.
got?
All
Yeah.
right. So here
Just
I go.
redo this working. Huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So insert.
No, calculate slope and intercept, no?
Yeah, quickly. This, right?
Giving you the same value?
No, that was different.
Ah.
That was different. So the placement of the dependent and independent variable matters. is it
Because,
right?
that will treat, always X comes first and then the Y comes
Why
next.
okay.
Okay, all right. Aman, any clarification here?
I have a query.
Yeah,
बस
yeah.
ये जो ग्राफ में ऐसा दिख रहा है यहाँ पे.
क्या हुआ ग्राफ का क्या हुआ?
So
there are
I was
certain points na which are away from the line.
Yeah, because your R square is only 0.30, no?
Right.
And no. So R square, if it is closer to 1, the points will be much closer to the line. And
Acha.
if
So which means there are other factors other than work-life balance.
other factors which are depending on, it is just not कि आप work-life balance बढ़ा दो तो performance एकदम हो जाएगा. It can be competencies, it could be a lot of other things, right?
So,
Okay.
ma'am, those charts that you showed when you were explaining about positive correlation and no correlation. So, based on
This is your
that, I was
positive
understanding.
correlation. This is your positive correlation because you can see definitely going up. The line itself shows you positive correlation.
Okay. The trend line. The trend line
Trend
will
line
decide
positive है ना?
positive correlation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if the points have to be closer, then that's about a regression,
Right.
how other
Right.
variables.
Right.
Okay.
Can I
got
see
it.
now quickly if you actually take this away? I want to see the other groups, guys.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
But good job done, and I'm glad you all are getting this is something tough and so soon you are able to. Where are the others?
Yeah, we are here. So can we share?
Yeah.
जरा पसीना पता नहीं कहाँ से आ रहा है इनके मुंह पे।
Has everybody come in?
No.
All the three
So,
groups?
Um,
Okay.
So we did correlation, ma'am.
Between performance and sick
Performance and
leaves.
sickness leaves, performance and work-life
I
balance.
will take one at a time. Yeah. Tell
Yeah.
me performance sick leave.
Yes. So same, we applied the formula is equal to coral, and we were finding out the correlation between both, two variables.
Absolutely no.
No?
You can see that there is no correlation between
Yes, exactly.
sick leave and performance.
Exactly.
Right?
And
Yeah.
which was kind of discussion point for me and Prashant. Like generally, more sick leaves, so less performance, but it is not affecting.
It is
And
absolutely
so one
not.
more insight which came, because the sick leave we saw 26 days taken by manager, and that is why there was no impact on the work.
Ah, great.
That was one of the discussion points.
Wonderful.
So
And you can also do a graph for this, sir, later
yes,
on. Okay.
yes. So
On your own.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we went on doing this, correlation with two variables, and then the discussion points were happening. This is
So the
how
next one, can I see the next one?
performance and work-life balance.
Yeah. What is the correlation score?
0.556, which is
What
a
does
good
it
one.
mean? Which is a good one, actually. Huh?
Yes,
If you
it's
actually
a good
see,
one.
that means work-life balance also adds to your
Performance.
performance. Ah,
Yes.
good. Next
Similarly,
one,
we did performance and of
job
course,
satisfaction.
job
No, work-life
satisfaction.
balance and job satisfaction.
Yes. So again, 0.727. So
Point. Job
0.7.
satisfaction. No, 0.45.
That is work-life balance and job satisfaction. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I
that
was
is
looking at
0.4.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
0.454.
Okay.
Okay. So this was there. And then the last one, work-life balance and employee engagement, 0.32. 0.332.
Some amount. No, I wouldn't
Yes.
say, okay, average, little.
Average, not that much, but yeah,
Okay.
this were there. And
We
one
try to
interest.
do directly with performance and job satisfaction. As we see in column M, work-life balance and job satisfaction are to the point highly
That means the
correlated.
person, if he is highly satisfied with the job,
Yes.
that means performance goes up.
Yes.
So it's an indicator that the HR managers should ensure that everybody likes their job better.
Yes. And
Because
which
if you have passion in the job only, you'll be able to perform.
true,
Yep.
true. And the one which was very shocking to us, salary and the performance we tried to do, and it was minus 0.06.
Salary and performance, obviously your salary doesn't keep going up because salary is given based on your competencies, etc. Right? So the data shows that because salary doesn't keep going up, right, with the performance. It goes up with a grade, or it goes up with your promotion, or it goes up with whatever competencies. So essentially, we should look at what are the kind of competencies. Is there a correlation between competencies and salary? Okay. Because
Maybe
once you
salary
are on
appraisal
board,
and performance can have a better correlation.
that means these are not two variables which should be looked at. Okay.
Yeah.
Then
So then we saw training cost and again performance score.
performance and E, there is a correlation. Employee
Yeah,
engagement.
there is
That
a
means people,
correlation. So employee engagement, job satisfaction, and work-life
ये क्या
balance.
है? The work-life balance and SD. SD क्या है?
Sick days.
अच्छा, 6 days. No, you can't do na.
No, we just did. I mean, since we had some time, so we wanted to discuss about it. Yeah.
So you also have to look at the data, two data points. Are they having any, so there is no relationship
There
at
is
all.
no.
Relationship at all.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Good learning. Okay.
Yes.
So training and performance also are not connected. It's 0.0 negative.
Training cost. It's not
Training cost.
Okay.
Because
it's
it's
not
not
a training
competency.
rating.
If I say training, you can also talk about how many trainings has it gone through. We can have that kind of a data. But actually best is to go back to your data, all of you to go back to whatever you're working, and please use these techniques. No? Thank you. Can we have the other group?
Ma'am, how do we I mean, regression can be used here, but then how does it?
Regression can be used here where performance is the outcome,
Yeah,
which is a dependent variable. And you can say work-life balance is a what?
critical.
Independent variable. है ना?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, performance is a dependent variable again, and employee engagement can be
So
a
how do we come to
independent
the
variable.
conclusions of what should we do to enhance performance, if that is the question?
So you should look at lag indicator and lead indicator.
Okay.
Lag is always outcomes.
Yeah. Which have
Lead is a
already happened.
driver, performance drivers. Lag is a, see, my number of conversions are dependent how much I make. So there is lag and lead. Are you with me, Prashant?
Yes, ma'am. So we need to focus on the work-life balance, job satisfaction, and employee engagement. That is what
Yeah.
the conclusion we are getting from
Yeah,
this.
but if your data shows here very high, but typically maybe little correlation, but actually you will see that you can't do a regression much because work-life balance could be just one factor.
Yeah.
There are several
yeah.
other
That's what.
factors. No,
How do we
one
assign
factor.
weightage to different factors and then?
To address this is you will take 10 factors. Mera performance ke liye what is very important. I will take 10 factors. Then I will see whose correlation is the highest. अभी
Yeah.
किया था first वाला में.
Huh.
Then I will take only those one or two. I won't take all laundry list and start working on them. So I will see who has the highest correlation. Then I will then zero in on those 3 or 4. I mean, you're getting some clarity?
Yes, ma'am. I was just wondering how will regression be applied and where it will be useful in this set of data, because we don't
Ah,
have the R value is
once-
very less.
Because यहाँ पे data नहीं है. Again, once you get the
Okay.
data, then you again look at it. No?
So predictive analysis की तरफ, how do we go from here?
From where? This is predictive, no? When you're using a correlation, when you're using the regression itself are two techniques which you can do it by
Okay.
yourself.
Okay. Yeah,
Leaving AI and machine learning. Because abhi dekho, as an HR person, you may not know AI, you may not know ML, but that doesn't limit you to not to do your analytics.
Yes, ma'am.
You can still do analytics using the statistical techniques.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay, wait, I think I have another group who has to showcase. Is there another group, guys?
Yes, ma'am. Or group is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I thought Prashant has shown it earlier,
Yes, ma'am. I have shown.
but I've seen only 2 groups. Where's the third group?
I was shown for the previous question, not for this.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So do you want to show me?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent.
So I simply created the name ranges, and based on the name ranges, I calculated the correlation.
आप तो percentages से ले लेते हैं. Very good.
But easy
Okay.
to visualize.
हाँ.
So the scores are similar to the other groups.
Earlier groups. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
there's not
great.
much of a difference. And only significant factor is performance score versus work-life balance, 56%.
It's different for other groups?
No, ma'am, it's same.
Same.
The numbers
Okay.
are
Okay.
same.
Okay. 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 So you can do a regression. I'm responding to Prashant's question here, where you are saying the performance has a I mean this dependent. You can actually look at this performance score as a dependent variable and work-life balance as a independent variable, and say because it has a strong correlation, you can also look at regression here. You getting me, Prashant? Work-life
Yes, ma'am.
balance is the lead indicator and performance score is the lag indicator. है ना?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Yeah, even job satisfaction and work-life balance. That means if there is a higher work-life balance, it also gives you job satisfaction. Like 0.45 is a good, okay, not so much I would say, but okay to some extent, no? All right. And let me see the graphs, guys. Yeah, excellent. Very good. Very good. Thank you all. Thank you all. Okay. Okay. Now, yeah, if you can. So I want you to quickly now, because the theory, of course, you can read up there. Where's my Excel sheet? Guys, in fact, you can do it individually also. I want you to do this. Is there a correlation between the revenue of a company with the base salary? Okay. And if yes, then do a regression. If yes, then do a regression. Then is there a relation with the quantity of food one eats with the body weight? Okay. Huh? And if yes, then do a regression. Ye dono ka. Quickly, you can do it on your own, in fact. Okay, guys? How much time? 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Food and body weight and revenue and pay. Done? Go ahead. Now everybody is pro at it. I want you all to be really fast work and finish it up. And I'll just take then one person to showcase what they have done.
Ma'am, I had a question. So here we are finding correlations and regressions between two variables only.
Who is this? Shashank or somebody?
Prashant Chaudhary this side, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Prashant Chaudhary. Tell me.
But if you want to expand the scope, if you want to do it for 3 or 4 variables, if we, for example, if I talk about employee engagement, like consulting organizations do it, they develop their engagement models where there are 6 or 7 significant parameters and all.
Got it.
So, how do I reach to that level?
Very easy. Very easy. Say, for example, I'm just showcasing, but this may not be a best example. For example, performance score is your lag indicator. Prashant, you're also getting me? Performance score is your lag indicator. Okay. Now you are looking at 3 or 4 what? Variables. Huh?
Right.
And you want to check which is the best variable which has a high correlation. Got it? So you have to do individually correlations just like the one you did it earlier for this correlation with the performance score. Okay. Then you will get maybe for this work-life balance, you'll get a particular correlation. You are using this and this. Again, this G and J. Again, H and J. Again, I and J. Are you with me, Prashant Chaudhary?
Yes, ma'am.
Then what are you getting? You are getting correlations for every variable. Okay. Step 2. What will happen? Then you will have to decide which is that variable which has the highest correlation. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
This is called, correlation with multiple variables. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So please finish this revenue pay and done. Lata.
I think I'm the only Snehalata.
No, I wanted to shortcut your name.
Generally, it is Sneha, which is shortcut. Okay.
Lata.
Yeah. So I'll share my screen.
Finished? Yeah, you can share your screen for the other. I will just withdraw mine. Okay.
Yeah.
So that everybody can actually look at it.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, uh.
So,
Nee. Listen. This is Snehalata. Are you showing? You are showing it to me now?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. First of all, look at the data. It's already baseline salary. So you can't
It's-
create a payline salary because this is your baseline salary. This is not market data. Are you getting
Okay.
me?
Yes.
Okay. So here what we are trying to get is, okay, is there any relationship between revenue of the company and base salary? So
Yeah.
doing a pay line is absolutely, I mean, considered no. Got it?
Okay. Understood. Understood.
Because it's meaningless.
Mm, mm, mm.
You only have to see whether, depending on the company, is the
Mm.
base, is there a relationship between, so just clean up the data and also put that, you'll see that an excellent correlation exists.
Yes. So correlation is 0.73, which is
Yeah, quickly delete that and just show the graph.
this is what I
Okay.
had done
Yeah.
the
No, you did R square and all, don't do, because here there's
Okay.
no question of regression at all. Okay.
Okay.
You're not looking at a lead and lag indicator at all. They are just two independent variables. So is there a correlation between revenue and base salary? We want to look at it. Okay.
Mhm.
Got it? Excellent. Good.
Okay. Yeah.
0.73. Is there a
Yes.
correlation? There's a very high correlation.
Very
That
high
means
correlation.
the
Good.
revenue is high. Obviously, the base salaries also
Base
will be.
salary will be high.
Okay. Next,
Okay.
can we go to food and body weight? First, let me ask others. Hey, all of you, any clarification here? Do you require any clarification? Okay, let's go to the other one.
So this I haven't started it. Start.
Okay, you haven't. You can do it here, others can see. So to add to the point, Prashant, yeah, I'm actually helping you, Prashant, to figure out. You said, ma'am, when do I think it is independent variable? When do you get to know it is dependent variable? Just ask your question when you're doing a regression or a prediction, saying that cause and effect. Okay. The effect is caused by what? Got it, Prashant?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
When you're doing a regression, there is a cause and an effect relationship. Got
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So you just have to find out, hey, that's cause, which causes the effect. Then cause will become IV, independent variable, and effect will become a dependent variable. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Excellent. So dekh lena mote log, there is a direct correlation between
Yes.
food and what you eat. That's what Sadhguru tells. Huh? You are what you eat. Huh? You can't
Absolutely.
deny that. ऐसा मत सोचो कि हवा में ही मोटे हो जाते हैं हम.
High,
Alright.
very high correlation, ma'am.
So the high
I'm
correlation between food quantity and body
Yes.
weight. So here we can do a regression. Body weight will be what? Will be the effect.
Effect.
And food will be the
Cause.
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 So देख लो फटाफट regression करो. So if you increase by 1 kg, how much body weight will increase? That is called prediction. Got it?
Okay.
If I increase 1 kg of food, how much weight will it increase? पता करो फटाफट. For every kg of food you eat, what is the body weight?
Display equation.
No, full nahi aaya. Your intercept hasn't come there.
clicked set intercept.
No, set intercept क्यों है? वो अपने आप आ जाएगा. Only display equation on chart.
Okay.
Now you got it. Now you got it. So tell me, if you if you eat 1 kg of food, how much weight will it increase? Simple. 3.490, round it off to 3.50. Okay. X is 1 multiplied by 1 plus 22 point, again 646 के लिए 65 बना लो. Got it? Do that. I told you what to do. Just do that.
Y is equal to A plus BX.
यहाँ पे
हाँ.
3.5 I'll take.
So when X is equal to 1, what
So
is the value?
3.49 plus 2.3 जो भी यहाँ लिखा रहा है. I mean आपका ऊपर
बिल्कुल
Plus
बिल्कुल
2.64.
मैंने सिर्फ ये बोला कि वाइंड राउंड अप कर लो.
26.13.
2.64
6.5 कर लो बाबा.
ठीक है. 6.5.
bracket close.
No, no. How many kilos did you do? 1 kilo?
15. I did 15. Okay, so I'll just make
Ah.
one.
X को 1 लगा लो ना.
हाँ.
So you are increasing the food quantity by 15 kg.
हाँ. So
I'm
अभी
saying when 1 kg, what is the weight?
so
हम
by
सबको ज्यादा खाना है बस और कुछ नहीं. ठीक है 1 kg so 26
1 kg is 26.14.
So
So
1
if you
kg
increase
of
food quantity by 1, you will
One.
increase
body
by.
weight increases by 26
26.14.
kg.
तो एक में 1 किलो
So
और
after
खाए
that,
तो 100
by
के पास.
every kg, you will increase that. Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
1 किलो
Okay.
खाते ही सेंचुरी.
Century. Yes.
So can you, yeah. So I want to wind up by just wrapping up. Okay. Thank you guys. Yeah. Can you stop sharing so that, yeah. Alright. Okay. So guys, okay. So that is what we have. We to quickly sum up. Today we learned that through 2 statistical techniques called correlation and regression, you can actually do predictive analytics for HR. And when you're doing predictive analytics, a couple of things you need to keep in mind is have this clarity of what output. What is that you want, right? So that becomes your hypothesis. Okay. So once you are very clear about what you want as an outcome, then it will help you to then look for the associated data which is required for that output. Because unless and until you are very clear about the output, what you want, then you will not be very clear about the kind of data inputs which are required. All right. So once you know the output, then you know the input, then you have to use what? Statistical techniques to then derive what? Insights from that to make well-informed decisions, whether it is in recruitment, performance, competencies, compensation, etc.